All right, guys. So I ran across this very, very, very disturbing video that I honestly cannot believe it's real. Right? I cannot believe that this is real. However, with what we've been saying in regards to the woke progressive left and some of the things that these people push, particularly on children, I have all the reason to believe in the world that it is real. So without further ado, let's watch this video on this transgender person who is claiming that a baby that they take care of for work somehow is transphobic. Take a look.
I've talked about the transphobic baby at work before. I went in a room with him today, and I had my wig on, which I took off now because it's like 9 o'clock at night. He didn't cry, and he was like babbling at me, and I had to look at him and like, do you like me now because we've had a moment, or do you like me now because I have long hair and look more feminine, because then you're more transphobic? And then he started to cry, so that was my answer.
All right, guys. So yeah, that is disturbing, okay? And the reason why is because it seems like this person, who I believe is a transgender woman, because they said they were wearing a wig at the time, okay, they have a job where they take care of babies. Allegedly, this person is a teacher. And this baby happened to not be crying this time when this person goes in, right? And this person is saying that, hey, are you not crying now, right? Are you more calm because I'm wearing a wig? Okay, because I look more feminine. And if you aren't crying because I look more feminine, that means that you are transphobic, right? You're transphobic. That's what this person is saying. And again, I just find it fascinating because there are people out there, right? LGBTQ Nation is saying, you right-wingers getting upset about this. This is ridiculous. It's a joke. It's simply just a joke. It's not real, right? And I'm like, well, listen, I hope it's a joke, right? I hope it's not real, okay? Now, admittedly, I couldn't find all that much information on this. This is just one of those videos that went viral that people were talking about. But regardless, it's like the fact that we live in a time where I would even have to consider whether or not this is real, whether there actually be a debate about whether or not it's real. That's bad enough, right? Because we do live in a society where we do have these teachers that are in these schools that are trying to push this type of ideology on children, right? So who am I to say this isn't real or no, it's automatically a joke? I don't know, right? Because from what we've been saying, my first thought would be to assume that it is real, okay? Just assume that it is real.
I have a question for other genderqueer educators. I am just finishing up my teaching degree, and I was wondering how you all respond when students or parents misgender you in a way that doesn't turn into a power struggle. Because when I've had students misgender me so far, I don't know how to respond. And usually when I correct them, they just ignore it.
The main reason for me about why having queer representation and queer educators and queer education in the classroom from a young age is so that these kids will grow up to either be wonderful and accepting allies who have had this normalized in their lives from a young age. If you normalize queerness from a young age, they're more likely to be more accepting and understanding. And if they do not grow up to be good allies, I hope that those kids who later on realize that they are queer love themselves and are able to express themselves and be proud of who they are. That these kids are able to see people like them in their lives and say, hey, that person's just like me, and it's okay to be me. That is the main reason for me about why this is so important. Thank you for your question.
So I found out that I'm not allowed to tell students that I'm gay because it could be seen as supporting a single political party, and it could be seen as a political issue. So if anybody asks, I just really like rainbows. I just really like rainbows. I really like rainbows. No politics in Miss Leia's classroom. She just really likes rainbows. Rainbow duct tape? That's just because I really like rainbows. Rainbows aren't political. Not at all. Rainbows are just colorful and fun. It's not a political thing at all. It's just that I really like rainbows. What? This? This isn't political. This is just that I really like rainbows.
Because they obviously want to push this on children. Why not go as far as to push it on babies? Right? Why not go as far as to try to label babies transphobic that don't react the way that you want them to when it comes to how you orient yourself, right? Why not? Why not, right? The earlier you get them, the easier it is to indoctrinate. And obviously people are aware of this. They're aware of this. That's why there's such a big movement by these teachers to try to get kids exposed to this stuff at an early age, as early as possible. Again, that's why you have so many teachers infiltrating these schools with this ideology. They care more about teaching this ideology than they do actually the subject that they're hired to teach. Yeah, that's why that's happening, because they understand how susceptible kids are to this type of information. They know that. So again, when people on the left want to say, oh, the right's getting upset for nothing. No, regardless of whether or not the video is real or fake, which we don't have any evidence to suggest that it's not fake, right? We don't have any evidence to suggest that it's not real, or that this person is joking, or that it is purely satirical. We have no evidence whatsoever to know how serious this person is. What we know is what the person said. But again, regardless, the point is the same. The point is that this is what is happening in our schools. And again, we have teachers out there that are more concerned about pushing this ideology on children rather than actually doing their jobs. Again, and this is happening all over the country. Okay, it's happening all over the country. I mean, we've done stories about how teachers have changed the name of clubs in order to trick students and parents into letting their kids be a part of clubs that are LGBTQ oriented, right? Letting them be in these clubs. And then next thing you know, these teachers are trying to change students' gender identities, okay, and their pronouns and their names and identities and all types of stuff. That's what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. So yeah, when people on the right get outraged when they see stuff like this, is because this seems to be the next step. It seems to be reasonable to come to the conclusion that this is probably real, considering what we've seen before, right? Considering what we've seen before. We know that a lot of these activists, they want to get the kids as early as possible. That's why a lot of these activists are in schools where kids are. Who am I to not believe that somebody is trying to accuse babies of being transphobic, right? Just because they don't cry when somebody's wearing a wig. Seems plausible to me, right? Seems plausible to me that there are people out there that think that babies are probably transphobic based on how they react to how people look, okay? I don't think it's crazy to make that assumption that there are people out there like that. I'm just saying. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.